UFC Baku, first fight of the night. Hamdi Abdelwahib versus Mohammed Usman. This is a weird matchup, but I'm gonna leave Mo Usman. He's got the plus money. A lot longer, a lot more experience. Hamdi's pretty good, but he's kind of one dimensional and kind of just throws. He's like a fucking tattoo. I think I just throws hands. Not as cool and doesn't have the aura, but I'm gonna go with Mo Usman, but not too confident in it, respectfully.
I was leaning Usman like in the beginning, definitely. I mean, he's bigger and more athletic, and that usually helps you run through like unranked heavyweights. But in a good amount of his fights, he like is not a better striker than Hammy. I think it's fatty. Not a better wrestler. I think this is gonna be the most boring heavyweight fight and go to decision. And we're gonna see Usman get like stumbled a few times. I mean, I like the price on Usman, and I hope he wins, but I really doubt it.
Yeah, it's a good price on Usman, but I wouldn't put all your marbles in that. Um, Honestly, I'd probably just stay away from this one. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. I think Tagir is one of the biggest locks on the card. Really good wrestler, not really much of a finisher. So I know that his money line is minus 500, but Tagir by decision is minus 135. Azat's pretty solid when it comes to the defense. He only has one loss, never been finished. Tagir kind of got pillow hands. He's also flyweight. I don't think he's getting the choke on him. I like Tagir at minus 135. I've thrown some money on that already. I'm going to keep throwing some on that.
Uh, I think Tagir has a better threat on the ground. Though I'm not saying he does it, but he has a sneaky guillotine. I think he could get a submission, but like honestly, I might not even really bet on this fight. Uh, just in case if he does get the submission, I wouldn't want to throw money on submission or decision. So I just stay away because he's very highly priced, but I think rightfully so. I think he does look like a minus five. What is 500 right now?
500 flat on
I think he's gonna look like a minus 500, but I still like wouldn't want to risk it.
Yeah, he's a lock. If you need a little bit to boost up your parlay and you want to throw a minus 500 in there, if it's going to do something, fucking feel free. But I think it's a lock. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm gonna go with the chick that has Russia tattooed down her forearm. I have no idea who these women are. Uh, Probably by decision. I'm just gonna assume
Yeah, so
they're both coming off losses.
that's Irina Alexeva. She's minus 265. I'm also gonna be honest with you. I don't know a single fucking thing about these chicks. I'm not gonna give you advice on this one. Maybe it's a banger fight. I don't know. I'm probably gonna take a shower during it. So.
So Melissa Mullins versus Daria. This fight is like a quick piss break. Honestly,
Yeah.
probably gonna be a better fight. Melissa Mullins has finished her before, and she is favored to get the knockout. I think Daria is a better striker, but Melissa like once she gets you on the ground, it's like ground and pound until the finish. She's always looking for the finish. She kind of has like Kayla Harris kind of style, looking for the finish, like not like most WMMA. So I like Melissa Mullins. I don't know if I'd go by KO just because it is WMMA, but I could see her getting the TKO in the round two.
Melissa Mullins money lines minus 265. That's honestly pretty solid if you throw that in the parlay. I think she's gonna win. I'm not really too informative on either of these fighters, so I'm not gonna give you an official prediction. But seems like a lot of the cards favor Melissa here, so decent odds if you want to throw that in a parlay. I'm probably gonna spend some money on Melissa because I have to after that in every fight. DJing. So it goes.
Jung Young Park versus Ishmael. I'm not gonna.
Nardiev, fucking something.
Uh, Jung Young Park is an older fighter. He's minus what is it, 185, around that. I really like that price. We saw Ishmael struggle with a better grappler. He fought Sean Brady. He was able to be held down and just be. I think Jung Young Park, with the experience, has the ability to take him down and hold him there, and most likely win by decision. So I'm gonna go with the veteran.
We're gonna take a bold pick over here. So, Junyon Park is 18-6. He's got 11 finishes and he has 6 losses. 3 of them came by finish. Ismail, he's got 18 finishes and 24 wins, and he's gotten finished in 4 of his 7 losses. These guys are pretty aggressive fighters here, from statistically. And the under 2.5 is currently at plus 130. I think that's worth the sprinkle. I think they're gonna come out swinging. They're gonna go out trying to finish each other, and I think under 2.5 at plus money is worth a couple of dollars. Really can't tell you which one's gonna win because they both kind of seem aggressive here, but I think someone's gonna get a finish. Might as well capitalize on that.
Bon Elliott. I don't.
Seokyeon Ko, forgive me if I said that wrong, and Oban Elliott. Okay, no, is he actually 1-0? I do
This
not.
thing on ESPN says like 12-2.
Yeah, he's 11-2.
They have the same record.
I'm a big Oban Elliott fan. I think he's going to go pretty far in the welterweight division. I think that this is a good matchup for him stylistically. I think he still needs a couple more wins to really fill all that potential. Oban's at like what, minus 455?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. Also, those are pretty scary odds. I don't know if it's the finish here. So I'm not going to bet on anything by finish or the spread either. I would just take his money line. He's one of my biggest locks of the night. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, he should be. He's minus 500.
I know, right?
We saw Elliott live. I mean,
Yeah, he did knock out Basil Hafez in his last fight. That was the first time Basil Hafez has ever gotten finished. So
I think
That's
he's
fucking
still.
dope.
Yeah, that was a little bit ago. I think he's still riding the hype. This fight got pushed back, right? He had a.
no, he was supposed to fight someone else.
Yeah.
And then they announced Seokyeon or whatever the fuck his name is, fucking like 3 weeks ago.
So I think he's been in camp for a long time, and he's definitely
Yeah.
ready to get out there and fight.
He wants to fight.
So I'm also gonna take his money line, or I might do the double win decision and take
What,
KO or
decision?
points because that's minus 275
That's solid.
instead of than 500. And I definitely do not think he's getting a random submission. At least I pray he
I don't think
doesn't.
he's not really.
So I think that's probably the better bet for like money line wise.
Yeah, tough fight to bet on because of his odds, but I'm gonna go Oban Elliott. I think he's kind of a lock here. Okay, now this is a super interesting fight to look at. Mohamed Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. On paper, Naimov is he's a dog. Okay, he's fucking sick. But what's not on paper is fucking grit. That's what Bogdan Grad's all about, dude. He's a fucking dog, literally. You cannot fucking stop that guy. He's like, a couple weeks ago we saw Andreas Gustafsson. Bogdan's kind of a similar way. He's just gonna keep coming at you. He's gonna keep coming at you. Fight style's a little different, but Bogdan's got fucking heart. He really wants to be here. He put on a fucking banger in Contender Series last year. I don't know if you remember that one. That was a banger fight. He got beat the fuck up, but he still came out on top in a split decision. He's a tough guy, grit. He's at plus money, at like really good plus money too.
225.
Yeah, he's at plus 210 on DraftKings. I'm gonna go with. It's a tough one. He's one of my underdog picks tonight though. Bogdan Grad at plus 210. I love that money. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle some on that.
I'm gonna hammer Bogdan Grad. I feel like he definitely fights like Gustafsson just without the boring clinch work. I don't think he's gonna get a decision, but I think the pace is gonna be pushed off the rip, and I think he's gonna be very highly up on the scorecards. That he's gonna win the first 2, and the third round will be very close. And as long as he doesn't get finished, he should win by decision. But you have to also think like if you're betting a decision fighter here, where they're from because of the judges is very biased. So I would be a little nervous. They could try to rob him, but I definitely take Bogdan Grad, and I think he's going to win by decision.
Yeah, it's a tough one again. I'm gonna go Bogdan here. Pretty confident, but I wouldn't call it a lock. Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mata. This matchup is like paper made built for Sadikov to get a finish here. Sadikov's got 9 wins by finish in his 10 wins. Mata, all 5 of his losses came by finish. Sadikov's fighting close to home. They really want him to get a win here at home and by finish too. His money line's kind of scary at minus, was it 410? That's high. I like him by KO at plus 110. If you want to be a little bit safer, you can go with him by finish at minus 160. I'm throwing a lot of bread on that. Sadikov's getting the finish in his home country.
Uh, I could easily see that, but I'm totally gonna hedge David and take Nazim by decision. Uh,
Alright.
I just think Mota's like not a scrub. He could definitely defend it, and he has grit. So I don't know if he's going out cold. I feel like it's either a ground.
He has great. He's gotten
decision.
finished in all 5 of his fights.
Yeah.
His losses, he hasn't finished.
I mean, he's 115.
No, I'm sure you're a cool guy. I think you're getting fucking put out.
I mean,
Tofik Musayi versus Miktabek Orobai. Orobai is a fucking dog. I love Orobai.
his tattoo's
He's just
fire.
like, that was a pretty cool tattoo. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a lawyer. Also, I just found out today he has a law degree, which is fucking sick. This is a close fight. Money wise, I like the over in this fight. I think this fight's gonna go to a decision. I'm not too confident in Orobai. I'm gonna throw some money on him. I think he's gonna utilize a lot of his wrestling against Tofik, but I think that's gonna be what is a big wrestling game plan. I think it's gonna go to a decision. I don't know who's gonna win, but I'm gonna go with the over here.
I'm taking Orabai, hopefully by decision. Tofik, who he's fighting, is a lot older, or an older guy, and it's his debut, and he hasn't fought in 5 years. And I'm not sure if they just signed him now because he's from
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, or because like he's finally like, oh yeah, I want to be in the UFC. But he hasn't fought in a really long time, and Orabai does push the pace. So I feel like he could easily wrestle most of it. He might sneak at a submission if the dude gasses. I mean, he hasn't been in a cage in a long time, but I think it goes to decision. And Orabai is on my two DGens parlay. I definitely like his money line. I think it's worth a lot, and I think he's a rightfully favorite.
Good odds for Orobai, but I'm not super confident. I'm gonna be throwing some money on him though. Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. So we got a UFC vet, and we got the dude that was caught on the Captain America Super Serum. They actually caught Rizvan on like a full ass cycle. He was on like fucking 5 different fucking things they caught him with. I don't know. This is UFC debut, former PFL guy. The UFC has to know something because they've rebooked this fight. This is the third time they've rebooked this fight. You don't really see often a UFC debut and getting a top 5 opponents. Unless someone like Curtis Blades that just coming off a title fight. Obviously, he lost in a minute. That sucks, but I'm gonna go with Curtis Blades here. I think he's got the UFC experience. He's pretty well rounded everywhere. Unless Rizvan can get some kind of knockout, I don't see Blades losing this fight. I don't know why the UFC really wants to make this fight. Maybe Kuniev comes out and fucking shocks us, but I'm gonna go
I
Blades.
I have been heavy on Blades in the first two times it got matched up, and then I just kept looking more and more into it. And Curtis Blades has been finished a few times now, coming off
A little chinny.
pretty brutal finish in 1 minute. And he's definitely getting older, so I don't think he's like the same Curtis Blades we see every time. Like, he's not going to be shooting 8 takedowns in heavyweight, especially with a big ass super soldier in front of him. So I think the best way to watch this fight and live is watching the live bets. I would take Kuniev by first and second round KO. I think he gets it done in like an early clinch on the fence. He gets like a TKO or KO on the ground on the fence. And if he doesn't, I think Curtis Blades has the experience enough to take the fight back in the later rounds. So I'm going to bet Kuniev now and take him first or second round KO. But I will be watching the live odds to take Blades if it goes later than 1.5 rounds.
Respect it. All right. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I want you to talk. I take these pouches out.
Fiziev is coming off a loss to Gaethje, and Bahamondes just submitted Jalen Turner in his retirement fight off rip. I think I'm on Fiziev, like not too heavy, but I definitely think he could get a decision win here. He's home. He loves there. He's very excited to fight here. They're both very excited. I think Fiziev in the Justin Gaethje fight was coming off the injury and still a little rusty, and I think that probably got rid of the rust, and I feel like he might be ready to go full speed now, and I think he could put the pace on Bahamondes, who hasn't like fought someone this high in caliber just yet, because I think Jalen Turner was already checked out in that fight going into it, but I'm not gonna sleep on Bahamondes, and I'm most likely gonna take the over in this fight, honestly, even though that's a little risky.
So there's a lot of what you said that I'm actually going to go against. I'm actually a really big Rafael Fiziev fan. He's always someone I watch when he fights. He's always a banger. But at the same time, I'm a huge Ignacio Bahamondes fan. I've been saying for a minute he's going to be a really good contender at lightweight for a long time. He's really tall. He's really big. He's well-rounded everywhere. He's got power in his hands. He's got the length. He's a very aggressive fighter, too. All of his wins have came by finish. Fucking pretty nasty. And it's not like all knockouts. I think it was like 8 knockouts, 7 submissions, something like, or something around that. I know it has to add up. Fiziev is at home, which makes you a little scared when it comes to judges. But at the same time, these guys are both super fucking aggressive. Someone's going to sleep in this fight. I believe that. I'm very confident in that. I think Bahamondes is going to be the one that gets the finish here, but I'm going to take under 2.5 at plus 145. I think this fight's really close to decide. I think it's going to be Bahamondes' breakout performance, and I can definitely see someone going to bed.
The only reason why I'm thinking the over, I mean, someone could easily go to sleep. It's not even a bad bet at plus money, but I feel like Fiziev took a full on clinched uppercut from Gaethje, and he was fine after. He got dropped a few times in the fight, but he was never like, he was fully conscious every time. And I feel like Justin Gaethje is probably the hardest hitter left in the weight class. I mean, now Ilya Taporia is there, but he just hits
Yeah.
buttons. So I honestly think he could take anything besides a head kick. But he's also a ninja. I mean, we've all seen him dodge the head kick, so
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine he goes out unless if it's like the only way I see it finishes from Bahamondes is if he gets a submission.
What was I gonna say? Bilal Muhammad has said Bahamondes is the best striker at lightweight. Fucking take his word or not, but Bilal is a UFC champion, or former, of course, but he knows what he's doing. He's a really good, guy in the camp. I think Bahamondes. I think this is his time. Fiziev looked good on short notice against Gaethje, but Bahamondes is a different breed. I think I'm gonna go with him. I'm really liking that under too.
The main event, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. It is pick'em odds currently. Jamal Hill is not fully a dog anymore. I think he's 105 and Khalil Roundtree's 110, but I bet you it gets closer to the fight and they're even money.
Yeah.
I honestly keep going back and forth on who I want to bet on, but I'm more heavy on Khalil Roundtree. Like, I hope he wins. I mean, I know he's getting hated, and his best win is Anthony Smith, but Jamal Hill is coming off two pretty bad finishes. The Yuri fight was like closer, but he still went out. And I mean, I don't know if he ever knocked the rust off from the injury, and we'll see. He's also just chunky. I know he's an athletic dude, but like Khalil Roundtree is just kind of a unit, and he has his beautiful custom shorts on, so I could easily see him getting a finish. And I think the reason why I'm heavier on Khalil is because I think watching all the other fights when like Anthony Smith was close and stuff, I think Khalil was still like kind of insecure. I mean, he always talks about how he was a fat kid. I don't think he thought in his head he was like a UFC caliber fighter. And then he went 4 rounds with Alex Pereira. And I think we see a more confident, like more on pace Khalil this time around than we've ever seen. But that could easily be false, and he could just get out cold 3 rounds.
All right, I get it. Jamal Hill. Kind of a meme. No one likes him. He's coming off 2 losses. But when is losing to Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohaska a bad thing? Those are two of the top 3 light heavyweights in the world. Jamal Hill, yeah, Pereira kind of fucked him. I'll give him that, okay? That Yuri fight was a lot closer than you remember, okay? That was a really close and that was a really good fight. I think Khalil Roundtree is a great fighter, a greater person. I would love to see him win. I'm a fan of him, but I think people are sleeping on Jamal Hill. Everyone wants Khalil because they're betting on Khalil because they hate Jamal Hill. They're betting on Khalil because he had a close fight with Pereira. MMA math don't work, respectfully. Jamal's way taller, he's longer, and I think that this fight is going to end by finish, and I think Jamal Hill is going to get the knockout here. Um, I really like the odds on Jamal Hill. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. I think, Khalil could hit him with one. Khalil does have that power, but I'm taking Jamal here at his money plus 105. It's basically a pick 'em. But I think this fight is gonna be a fucking banger, and I think Jamal Hill's gonna be the one getting his hand raised.
Uh, I'm just checking the odds, but you can do like rounds under an exact method instead of them picking someone, which I love doing. Yeah, it's hit or miss, but I think I'm gonna bet exact method KO clearly and under 3.5. Those odds are at, if it works,
I like that.
minus 175.
And
You
for
could
the,
even go minus 2.5, like under 2.5, and then the odds will clearly go way down.
Khalil gets hit.
Even money.
I know Khalil's got that power, and Jamal, it takes one punch to knock him out. Khalil's got that power, but Khalil does not move his head, okay? He got gassed against Pereira, and Pereira was absolutely putting on a masterclass. I know this is fucking Alex Pereira, and not Jamal Hill did that, but Jamal's got that range, he's got that power, and he's pretty accurate striker too. He was hitting Yuri pretty fucking clean too, and Yuri had really good head movement in that fight as well. I like Jamal by KO at plus money even. I think it's
All
gonna
right.
happen.
That's all our predictions. That's the end of the.
So I picks. Let us know what you got, and fucking let's make some money tomorrow. Fuck yeah.